Hey, what's up, everyone? It is that time of the week again. This is the Monday Market Coin Report for the week ending July 12th, 2020. All right, so for the big topic for the week, it looks like we have some investors that are beginning to target specific coins strictly to park money into. All right, this is not unusual. Okay, as the economy kind of goes up and down, and for in this particular case, because of this whole pandemic, it's really driven a lot of uncertainty into the market. All right, investors are trying to park their money into what we consider to be safe haven type of commodities, whether it's silver and gold. Which, by the way, this week we've seen an uptick in both metals, but parking money into those type of assets, along with some high dollar collectibles. Okay, coins and currency certainly fit that mold really well, and just based off of the few coins that we see this week, that this seems to be the case, and I think it couldn't be any more apparent just based off of the selection of coins that's sold for this week. So the big question, especially if you're new to these reports, is what actually construes a modern market? I get that question a lot. And typically I would say anything post 1950 is what I would consider to be kind of like the ultra modern. So 1950 all the way up to the current date of U.S. coinage. But for the particular Monday market reports that I've been doing here lately, I've been covering also coins as far back as 1900. All right, this is going to give us a lot more breadth, a lot more bandwidth in some of the somewhat earlier kind of key kind of coins that not only collectors but investors do chase after. All right, and we've seen undoubtedly probably one of the strongest coin markets this week on the Monday Market Coin Report. That is reflected, albeit it's a little bit of an abbreviated list. We only have 13 coins. I kind of consider this week to be somewhat of a breather because of the 4th of July weekend. So the amount of more what I consider to be ultra modern coins is few and far between, but there are a few of them on here that you need to know about. So before we go ahead and jump in, as always, I'm your host Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for instant notification. I hope you guys are having a pleasant either Sunday night or Monday morning as you guys get ready for work and go about your daily business. This is a great way to kind of, check things out. So, no other big sales for the week other than what was available on Great Collections. I looked at eBay up and down, and there wasn't anything noteworthy to talk about. You do have some of those requisite under $1,000 type coins. More so as probably registry set type stuff that's graded. That's all we talk about in the Monday Market Report, by the way. Graded, NGC, PCGS, even Annex, if that applies. But aside from that, the real bigger auctions don't occur until August and September. All right, so we got the signature coin auction on Heritage Auctions next month, and then in September we have the Long Beach sale. All right, so those are the two, I guess, nearest and dearest shows that will be happening virtually, probably not in person, as again the pandemic is raging on, and these shows are just not happening. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the first coin on the list. Again, all from Great Collections. And we're going to go ahead and start out with this 1971 Lincoln Memorial cent, which it doesn't look incredibly crazy. But for a lot of you cherry pickers out there, this is a good one. This is actually the Double Die Obverse FS101 in the Cherry Picker's Guide variety. Generally, you're going to see a lot more better doubling on the motto "In God We Trust" and "In Liberty." So those are two of the hottest areas to look for this type of variety. Another thing to point out that I just noticed, it's got a little bit of a misaligned die on here. So the obverse die is slightly misaligned. The back is completely centered on there. That's probably not a huge factor in the the sale of the coin. But this is a pretty nice variety, and for a variety collector out there, this is definitely a marquee type. All right, whereas the 72 that comes right after it, has about a dozen various double dies. You have the 69S, you have the 70S. So this is a period in time with a lot of U.S. Mint varieties, die varieties, occurred. This is a good one here. So it's an NGC Mint State 65 full red. It doesn't look that hot. This is what I consider to be kind of a pedestrian looking coin. 65 might be just a tad bit on the high side. I would say it's more of a 64, just based on all the staining and stuff going on here. But this is a coin that sold for $731.25. I would say if the grade is high enough and you did find one of these, I would certainly go ahead and grade it. All right, it's just going to be an easier sale. You can lock it in real nice, when you have bidders going for it. So yeah, I would definitely grade it, whether it's through this service or PCGS or even Annex. They would all do a good job at making sure this thing is encapsulated for you. All right, so the next one that we have here, of course, it seems like every week that we see one of these. Steel Sense, this is always a perennial favorite amongst the coin community, not only investors, but also registry set participants of the Lincoln series chase after these at the highest grade. And there's quite a few of them out in the marketplace, but that doesn't stop active bidders from battling each other to own one of the Mint State 68s that apply in this particular census. So this is a 43P Lincoln Steel. As you guys know, it's a zinc-coated steel planchet. I don't have to tell you the story of why it exists, but that doesn't matter. A truly iconic coin in not only moderns, but the classics too. So this is the highest grade possible. It's also CAC certified, and this one sold right in the same wheelhouse as all the other examples that have sold in the last six months. $3,206.25 is what this one brought home today. Okay, so the next one we have here is what we would consider to be one of the more tougher dates. Not quite a key date. The 31S is the key date. It's a sub-million mintage coin, but this is the Denver minted version. This one right here is pretty tough to find in nice high Mint State grades. Of course, as you can see, this is a PCGS Mint State 66 red-brown, and it's going to be a nice registry set coin. There are actually so few of them on the list as far as registry set type of purchases, but this one here is always a tough one. This one sold for $1,302.75 today. Okay, so this is one of the big investor coins on the list. It's a 1922 plain, no Denver mint mark Lincoln wheat cent. This coin probably goes down in history as being one of the ultimate key dates in the series. Next to the 09S VDB, the 14D, you have the 22D right here. They all fit in the same mold. But this is a coin here that is incredibly and inexplicably rare in mint state condition, only because this coin existed truly in the vein of the Great Depression. Okay, coins were being used left and right. Nobody really hoarded these things just because of how impoverished our country was at that given time. So a small little change jar got spent pretty quickly. But this one right here, of course, there's no Philadelphia mint that mint produced 22s. This is simply could be a result of a clogged die or something of that line. Now the coins, this one here, much like any other from the 20s, are generally poorly struck. I mean, you check out the obverse of the coin, you get a lot of weakness that is brought upon by die deterioration. Okay, so this looks pretty typical for the era, although this one is paired up with the strong reverse die pairing. Okay, see how strong this strike is. This is one of the more appealing and more sought after die pairing types. Everybody's looking for the strong reverse, and this one certainly fits that really well. Grade-wise, it's a PCGS Mint State 64 Brown, CAC certified, and it's just an overall tough grade. You usually don't see them up this high, and even if you did, they are quite expensive. In this particular case, this one sold for $38,255.62. This is an obvious investment piece, all right? It's just no doubt about it. I mean, you could buy it for a registry set, no problem, but I think at the end of the day, it's more 75% investor piece, 25% for the registry. This is just a coin that you just don't see come up on the secondary market that often, maybe a few times a year through a couple different auction sites. All right, so here's a really nice 21S. And this one grades out at a PCGS Mint State 64 Red. Again, another tough Depression era struck coin that is tough to find, especially in full red, let alone Mint State. Actually, the highest grade I've ever owned of this particular date that's still in my collection is a Mint State 61 Brown. So that kind of gives you a little idea of the difficulty of finding this coin out there. But this one right here is a nice piece that could be, again, considered to be probably 50-50 investor money or registry set used. So this one right here sold for $1,575 on Great Collections. And the last penny on the list is a 1916S. Coins during the teens are coveted left and right in just about any mid-state grade. All right. Again, we're talking about a series that's probably the most popular in history, as far as I know. Let's put it that way. But even people overseas go out of their way to collect some of the nicest marquee examples of Lincoln wheat cents. Okay, so the 16S here grades out as a PCGS Mint State 65, and yes, it does say full red. Which I think I might have a little something to say about that. And what I wanted to bring up was this thing does not look full red at all. However, this if you look at the label, this is actually an older generation PCGS slab. And this one probably was full red when it was encapsulated. And it has since toned inside the holder, which sometimes happens. Especially if the coin was dipped at one point, although it's a copper composition. So we are talking one of the most reactive metals out there. So if it was dipped and it looked nice and bright red, it's just only going to be a matter of time before it retones into this brown color. All right, so it's more brown than it is red. I wouldn't even consider it to be red brown either. Although the coin might look different in person. Kind of hard to tell with these images. This one sold for $3,783.38. Again, we're talking about a coin that could be an investor piece, but at the same time could also fall as a registry set buy. Okay, so the only nickel on the list is going to be this fair-weathered 1918 over 7 Denver Buffalo nickel. And the reason why that this coin is here is this is going to be the subject of a common cherry pick out there, especially for examples that are missing the date entirely. And what people like to do is buy coins like this for about a quarter to 35 cents, and they'll use that acid-eating nicotidate chemical to restore the date on the coin. Okay, and this is one of those coins, of course, that people are gunning for, along with the 1916 double die obverse. Now, this one right here grades out as an NGC VG10. Okay, there was no acid etching used on this coin. This one is true to its grade. I mean, you have barely enough of the date to make out the flat top 8 right here, which indicates the over date 7. And then right here, where this little hole is supposed to be for the top of the 8. That one has the bottom diagonal bar of the 7 going through it, so you can see it's flat right there. So that's just a couple of the things to look out for of this overdate. But coins that have been liquidated, I don't know if that's the right term for it, generally sell for a few $100s still. It's just a coin that's needed out of necessity, and the people who are on the lower end of the budget scale will pick up even one that has the details grade designation, like a acid eaten coin. But this one right here sold for $1,226.25. Still a very expensive coin, even in this condition. All right, very sought after. All right, so we do have a Roosevelt on the list. It's a 1970. This one is the No S variety Proof Rosie. This one grades out NGC Proof 68 Cameo. Again, much like the 75 No S that I talked about earlier in the week, this is also another one of those dates that you should probably try cherry picking out of proof sets. It's a very common dated proof set type. The proof set in itself can be had for about 12, 13, 14 bucks on a good day. But yeah, this is another coin you can cherry pick. Now this one right here sold for $630, and it's also worth mentioning that this was part of the Sunset Collection Part 113 on Great Collections. We have a stunning Mercury dime, this time a 1945S. Pretty nice, and I think I know why. The toning just really gives this coin a lot more personality than, say, if it was just a BU Blast White example. But this one is an NGC Mint State 67. It's denoted as being a star, which generally refers to eye appeal. Okay, and that's the toning for you. It also exhibits full split bands. All right, so it's got really nice separation lines on the top set of bands, middle, and bottom. All right, that's usually the qualifier for such a designation. This particular coin sold for $1,082.25. Tone coins tend to get scooped up based off of just an overall kind of like niche collecting market. Toners have always been hot, and here we are. We have another fine example. All right, we got a couple quarters, starting with this 1959 D Washington quarter. The coin exhibits some original toning, albeit not the most attractive toning type on there, but it doesn't detract from the overall grade. This one is a PCGS Mint State 67, CAC certified, and this one brought home $2,316.38, more so a registry set inclusion than anything else. Now this one is much more attractive visually. It's a 52 Washington quarter, a very common dated coin. All right, something you want to know about this: it's a PCGS Mint State 67 plus. Undoubtedly, it got the plus kicker because of the color on this. Usually, the graders will give a point bump or a half a point bump based off of the eye appeal factor of the coin. This one is just stunning. This one sold for $1,350. I would say it's a wise buy. Top end of the grade scale, and you have really nice toning. That's a really nice combination to make this one a surefire winner. All right, so this is probably one of my favorite coins on the list. Okay, you can't beat a really nice, well-struck Standing Liberty quarter. This time it's a 1921, so it's not your typical like 1928 to 1930, the more common dated coins you'll come across. But this one right here is a Philadelphia Struck coin. It grades out PCGS Mint State 66. Full head specimen, which is the full strike example on this type of coin. But this one is a really nice, just high grade example that probably would be considered an investment piece. All right, because earlier coins of this type are just really tough to find. All right, and it might even slot into a registry set, but this one did sell for $10,294.88. A truly marvelous example, and I would be certainly happy to own something like this. It's just out of the box a different coin. All right, and then the final coin of the bunch for this Monday market report is going to be a beast. Now, this one is probably what, toning is all about. Just check out both sides of the coin, the reverse especially with all that violet. Now, this thing is killer. PCGS, Mint State 66, full bell lines, and it's also CAC certified, so it's got a lot of things going for it. However, it's not the top grade. No, 63D. It's a very common date. But the top grade is Mint State 67 full bell lines. So this one right here sold for $3,262.50, which seems like a lot just based off of the grade merit aspect of it. For a 66 full bell lines, there are 129 that were assigned at this grade level. So it's not rare. But finding them with this kind of color is what it's all about. Okay, so this is a toner's paradise, probably an investment coin, but I would certainly be happy with this one. This one brought home all the marbles and then some. But yeah, that's going to do it. What do you guys think? Nice, quick, and easy, sort of. Sorry to drag it along there in certain areas, but I want to thank you guys for watching, and that's going to do it for the Monday Market Report for this week. Would love to hear your comments. What do you think about the market in general? How is the coin shortage kind of like affecting things right now? It's crazy out there right now. It's kind of hard to explain, but we're seeing kind of like this new direction in a lot of the collectibles markets. So as always, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for instant notification. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Coinholics, we are discovering together. I will see you on the next coin video. You guys take care now.